Hey everybody, this is B. This is my feeble attempt to start a podcast because I've had a lot on my mind recently. I've been learning about cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin. That's the name that is more recognizable, that kind of got me into it. I was like, okay, what is Bitcoin? So I typed it into my Google machine and I was blown away. Today is June 17, 2017, and for the last 3 days, since I made that Google search to figure out what was Bitcoin, I've been frantically, I guess you could say obsessed, trying to figure this stuff out. And I don't know, I think that if anybody is out there listening to me, I think you're here because you can relate. There's something very magnetic about this idea. I'm just going to operate on the assumption that you know the basics of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is. My idea with this podcast is just to kind of document my journey as I go through and, learn about it and try it out. Right now I have invested about $50 into it, and just mostly been learning about it. So I think it would be cool to just talk about that process, what the mistakes. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of mistakes that I'll make along the way, but I really think that this, as you probably do too as well, I really think that this is a huge deal, even bigger than we can imagine. And, okay, a little bit about me. I'm a 37-year-old male in the U.S., just a regular dude, basically. I got 5 kids to feed. I have a decent house, but it's expensive. I wish I lived back in my old apartment I used to live in, but anyway. But yeah, I run my own business. I do deliveries, and it's a sole proprietorship. It's just me. Just a normal dude. I have a bachelor's degree in business. I've always been interested in different things, different ways to make money. About the only thing, I have tried so many things that have failed. Trust me, it's crazy. But it's like, throw it against the wall and see what sticks, kind of thing. I did hit on one thing that really worked well. That's actually feeding my family now. I got lucky. I got into the cell phone charger business back 2007, 10 years ago, and that was back when. So what I do now is I deliver cell phone chargers to gas stations, which is very glamorous. No. But back when I first started, nobody ever imagined that you could go to a gas station and buy cell phone chargers. That was just weird. But the company that I happened to run into, they knew how to do it. They had a vision and kind of taught me how to do it. And I just went around my state. I just drove around and talked to gas stations. Said, "Hey, you want to sell some cell phone chargers here?" And a lot of them, they were like, "Nah, that's dumb," which is crazy nowadays to imagine a gas station that doesn't have cell phone chargers. But so I just went around and talked to gas stations, and luckily I was in on the the beginning of that. Had some really good years with a lot of money. Went to Vegas. The whole thing. When you're young and dumb and have money, I did that. But now, 37 years old, luckily, my business has been able to survive. But I struggle. I'm struggling to pay the bills, big time. But I'm not complaining because they are paid. I'm up to date on my bills. Only reason I bring that up is a little background because the appeal of cryptocurrency. I get the speculation. In my research over the last 3 days, I've seen margin trading. Excuse me, which I've done. You don't want to do that. Trust me. I've seen people that do day trading, which I also don't recommend because I've done it. But the big appeal that really appeals to me about cryptocurrency is, the mainstream appeal. Excuse me, my voice is a little rough. So one day, I almost say if, but I kind of think it's when. And you understand. If you know the basics of Bitcoin, you get it. When the mainstream latches on to Bitcoin, it's going to change the world. So mainstream appeal, I think, is the biggest kind of the amazing thing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We have a lot of things to figure out until that happens, because that has not happened. I live in a mid-sized city in the U.S., and I'm the only one that I know that even knows what Bitcoin is. I've talked to my friends. I've posted on Facebook. Nobody knows what it is. But when they do, they're going to love it. But they're not going to love it the way it is right now. It's got to develop and it's got to evolve. So that's the advantage that we have. The people that we're talking right now, the people that I'm talking to a computer, but the people that hear this, that get it, we have an advantage. We have an opportunity to do two things. One, to make it more appealing to the mainstream by making it easier to use. Because I've been spending a lot of hours obsessed with this stuff, and I've really not made a lot of progress. And that's not appealing to mainstream people. So we got to fix that, and we have the opportunity to profit in the meantime. And so I bought some Litecoin day before yesterday. I spent $10. Now my Litecoin is $15. Now, if I had a lot of money, I'd be jumping up and down. Like if I had put in, $10,000 in Litecoin the day before yesterday, and now I've got $15,000, I'd be jumping up and down planning a vacation. But I'm also kind of jumping up and down a little bit too with joy because, even though I only spent $10, number one, that's all I really had to spare. I don't have a lot of extra money at the moment. But I am still very happy because, hell, who's going to complain about that percentage of an increase, 50% increase? And if it wasn't for cryptocurrency, I would have no place to invest anything, anywhere. Where are you going to make a 50% increase overnight? Now, granted, it could go down by $1. It could go down $8 by the end of the day, and I'm left with, less than I invested. But overall, this could possibly, like the $10, what I like about, the reason I bought Litecoin was because I just like it. It's one of the top, 3 or 4, depends on what time you look at the chart. It's listed in different exchanges. that are common and secure. But, it's the reason. Okay, everybody loves Bitcoin, or everybody knows what it is that's in this scene, in this circle. But do you remember MySpace? I used to have a MySpace account. And that was how I first learned about social media. Think about that. Social media. How big is that now? Well, I first learned about social media through MySpace. I had a MySpace account. And it was cool. I liked it. It was fun. And then all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Facebook. And I'm like, well, what's Facebook? And I was like, no, I like my MySpace. I'm going to stick with MySpace. Luckily, we're not talking about any kind of investment. That brings a whole new level to the whole thing. But I'm just talking about trends, and I'm talking about technology. I had a MySpace account, and then everybody jumped and went to Facebook. And now a lot of you out there, maybe if you're listening, may have never seen or maybe never even heard of MySpace. That's kind of crazy to think about. But anyway, the point is, Bitcoin is a question mark. It's huge right now. But what's way bigger, unimaginably bigger than Bitcoin, is cryptocurrency. So you got to keep an eye on everything at this point. Well, I've only got about, I don't know, like I said, $40, $50 invested. So I don't have to keep an eye on everything. But then again, there's people out there now that are saying that, you got people all over the spectrum saying all kinds of things. You got crazy people saying that they want the U.S. government to fail, that they want the U.S. dollar to disappear. I don't want that. No. No. Even if I had, 100 Bitcoins, like full-on 1.0 Bitcoins, even if I had 100 of them, I still wouldn't want the whole system to fail. That's crazy. But what I do want is for Amazon to accept Bitcoin. I want this to grow at the pace that it's supposed to grow at. And I'm 98% certain that it will. That's just how things happen. I've seen that in my life. You see it in nature, Not to get too deep into, what is evolution or anything like that, but this is the future of money. But yeah, that doesn't mean I want anything crazy to happen. I think that one of the good things, like I said earlier, we got to talk about mainstream appeal. All right, we've got all the speculators that are online looking for a way to make a lot of money, which I've been there. I've got no problem with that. But what I'm saying is that we have that market right now, and it's I don't know the cap, but it's $15 billion industry just with those people. And others, but mostly those people. If we can get the mainstream, if we can get a little bit of Bitcoin, whatever we can afford, get the mainstream people involved, make it easy for them, we will be millionaires, maybe, ? We'll at least have some money. We'll at least have a little extra, we'll at least be able to pay the bills. And maybe some extra. Maybe we'll be able to go on vacation. So, there's a lot to talk about. Wow. But, even in just 3 days, I've learned so much. And it took me a long time to even figure out how to buy some Bitcoin. And now today,